going on, YouTube fam? This is your boy J Money here, and we are bringing you guys that second match regarding plants that I had promised you a while ago. There's still a third match that I want to go and display, so that will be the next video. But it has been a minute since I posted a video, and that's for a very, very good reason, and that's because I did move, and stuff is still everywhere. Still don't have everything situated very well, and don't have my entertainment center here yet. So until I can get that in, I won't have much of a stable recording spot, if you know what I mean. So another thing I want to note, these next couple matches is going to still be featuring the older list, so it will still have things like Global, because this was recorded, I think, the same week of Dual Overload launch, so just to bear that in mind. So plants, as a deck as it stands right now, I think it is still very playable. It does need a few tweaks. It needs not a massive overhaul, but the loss of Global is a very big deal. Not because it's a this level 1 tuner that's self-reviving, but really because it's a level 1 tuner that's a plant monster. The fact that it's a plant monster was a big deal. Now, the only other level 1 tuner that can revive itself would be that aroma monster, the Angelica. But a couple issues with that. One, it's not very consistent to get its effect off in the graveyard, because for one, you need to have an aroma monster on field while your life points are higher than your opponent. So with the loss of Brilliant Fusion, we have now resorted to Instant Fusion, which one requires you to pay 1,000 life points, so you'll always be at a lower deficit than your opponent, which is a bummer. And now with the addition of things like Cross Sheep and Needle Fiber, Jasmine doesn't stay on the field very long, so there's that. And 3, without Brilliant Fusion, you're not able to consistently put Angelica to the graveyard, because really you don't really want to summon it. You just want to just throw it in the graveyard as quickly as possible. So as you can see, where you're playing, it gets another invoked variant. I think this is Invoked Shaddoll Mekk, which is kind of strange, but it's whatever. We didn't open very good, at least I don't think we did. I don't see any hand traps in my opponent's graveyard, so it's whatever. And of course, since nobody really plays Mekk Knights, we don't really bother to play around zones like that anymore. And speaking of zones, that is a major way how I lose this match at the end of it. And I guess you can see for yourself, but anyway, we're gonna go and let this continue on. He sets another card. He goes for his purple, which means he may be going for Move Man, but he decides to play Invocation and go for a Trio, which I think this can seal the game. I don't know what I set down, and I don't know what set card I set, but I know it's not a trap card because I'm not playing traps, because I'm playing plants. So yeah, if that is what I think it is, okay, it's a Stealing Cloak. And since Stealing Cloak is not optional to summon a token, Purgatrio just gets more free damage, which is essentially the game right there. So we go ahead and put it up, and we go ahead and get ready for our game 2, and I'll be right back. Alrighty folks, we are back with our game 2, and of course I will be going first this time around, and I think we do end up meeting quite a bit of resistance from our opponent. We use our Lone Fire Blossom. Actually, I think we get to play completely uncontested. I'm not at all sure. I think game 3 is where we start getting met with a lot of resistance, so I'm not sure if we opened that great, but I really need to make a habit of showing my hand as I draw it. But as you can see, Explore got discarded, and that's all fine and dandy. And Cobra hits the board. So now that Cobra was in hand, I have no need to summon it with like Jasmine or another Lone Fire later on in the turn, I can now summon other more important things. I mean, Spore is very important, but again, at the time, Glow Bulb was still legal. Rip Glow Bulb. Now we have to use like Spore in specific while it's on board to like summon Needle Fiber and go for things like Recover or Jet Synchron, depending on if you still want to play it like Nat Beast or not. I may play Recover. It's still level 1. I may play 1-for-1 too as well, and also I just ended up buying most of the Rika archetypes, so I'll figure out some of the synergies there, whether it just be like a small engine or whatever. It's probably just going to be a small engine with the cards that don't really lock you into plants with the whole turn, because there's a lot of good plant monsters with good effects, but none really that good to end on, if that makes any sense. You know, most of your negates or in interruptions and interactions are in the form of everything else that's not plant. So things that lock you into plants, not very good, not a very good idea. So we make a Cross Sheep. I don't know if that was a mistake or not. I don't know if I should have just kept the Jasmine and used the Theseus that we're about to summon just for an additional monster, and went into like a Needle Fiber or something. But at the end of the day, we have all this stuff going on, and then we just kind of just revert all the way back to just Dagda Needle Fiber at the end of it all. Again, I messed up somewhere. I think it was just making the Cross Sheep is where I kind of messed up on. Now here I should be making, like, this is the part where I should just go Power Tool Dragon with those 2 Evil Thorns, and then tribute the Lone Fire Blossom for Geekaplant, which I think I do that actually. Do I? Okay, we do make Power Tool Dragon. Okay, we're good, we're good. So, why? Now I'm confused. Because I'm pretty sure we kind of messed up somewhere to where we just ended up with like a small board. But, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see. So we got our Gigaplant, and we activate our Supervise that we added from Power Tool. And I'm pretty sure we're bringing back Lone Fire Blossom, because that card summons any monster I want. You know, my entire deck is plant with the exception of the Buster Sword and Steam the Cloak, and that's it. So, you know, my deck is free reign at this point. I think at this point we go for a Glow Bulb. And yeah, yep, there we go. Oh, rip Glow Bulb though. I really don't think it was, you know, really that called for. Again, Needle Fiber is like a 10th as strong as it used to be. So, you know, it's whatever. I mean, again, it's still a good card, but, you know, nowhere near as good as it was, you know, to warrant like Bulb getting banned. Like Steam the Cloak, that's a different conversation because of what it offers. Yeah, token generation is nice, but, you know, being able to tribute, you know, is starting to get pretty good. You know, when you can just make Seal, just tribute it off. When you can, when you have the Rika archetype now, which is what I was thinking about doing, just, you know, tributing plants to get all their effects online and stuff like that. But no, you know, Rika's like nothing like too good, so, you know, I guess that's a moot point there. So, yep, we just we just go for a Dagda Needle Fiber. And I think the issue that we ran into here was before we had linked into Dagda, we should have made like a Crystal Wing, and I wanted to, but then I would be robbed of summoning it off of Ultimate Sulkin, which at that point I decided, okay, now I need a second level 8 Synchro. So it's like Borlo Savage Dragon would have been very appropriate. You know, had I put it in the deck. Now, keep in mind, at this time, Garden Rose Maiden was still in my extra deck, and I never summoned it, so I took it out. So that was a quick revision right there, which is pretty good. So, you know, this board, again, I feel like we could have gotten a lot further if we didn't screw up. Again, one, I think, was just making Cross Sheep. Maybe it was the correct choice. If we played a second level 8 Synchro, we would end on another interruption, but luckily our opponent's playing some form of Shaddoll / Invoked. Like, regardless, he's playing a lot of spell cards. So Naturia Rose Whip is definitely going to put in its fair share of work for that very reason, because with Naturia Rose Whip, the opponent can only activate one spell or trap card per turn, which is pretty strong, and it's got 1700 defense. And, combined with the fact that Artifact Scythe will hit the board and make you unable to go into the extra deck, you'll find it hard pressed to get rid of a card like Rose Whip without being able to go into your extra deck, unless you're playing like a deck like Dinosaurs or Mermail, or something that can just put big beaters on the board without the assistance of an extra deck. So, he's reading things, and I think he's thinking about responding with things. He's got like an Shaddoll Fusion in his hand, but he can't activate it because he already activated Allure, and Rose Whip is still, just live and kicking, is still just right there. So until he gets Rose Whip off the board, he can't really do anything. Now, we go for Scythe Effect is Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, we use Dagda, and then we use Chain Link 3. Wonder Magician just synchron Ultimaya. Ultimaya hits the field first, then Dagda sets an Artifact Scythe, and Scythe kicks in, and then the Ultimaya kicks in from setting a card onto the field, summoning Crystal Wing on the opponent's turn, which is really nice. Again, he's still extra deck locked. Now we have a Crystal Wing on the board, and Naturia Rose Whip is still there. A very, very strong card for against like spell heavy decks. So again, like with Needle Fiber, you can summon a lot of things. There's more than just Glow Bulb and Steam Cloak. As you've seen, I've summoned things like Red Rose Dragon and stuff like that. So Mekk Oleon, which was good when we had like Summon Sword, but that's not legal anymore. But now you have nifty things like Naturia Rose Whip, something that I may actually consider side decking in decks that play Needle Fiber for matchups like Invoke Shaddoll or Dinosaurs, like decks that play just a lot of spells that like need to resolve multiples, like ritual decks, like Pendulum decks especially, like Pendulums would just fold under Rose Whip. So Rose Whip is looking real good right now, and the great thing about it is it's not one of those easily abused tuners that people talk about, so it's very, very unlikely for Rose Whip to get hit. So that's a good thing, at least for me, because the less people that complain, the better. Now, we're still playing on the Master Rule 4 as well, so had we been playing on the Master Rule 5, we would have been doing a lot more. A whole lot more. We could be just extending way on the left, going to our extra deck multiple times, keeping Rose Whip on the board, of course, setting another card to summon another, like Synchro from the extra deck, and then going into Savage Dragon with that power tool. We could have been doing a lot of things. So, we get Lone Fire Blossom back with DDR, summon our Titanial, Princess of Camellias. Nice card. Protects any monster from targeting by tributing a plant, not just targeting protection for plants, but any monster, which is like really, really solid. So Windy gets flipped up, and I think we negate it with Crystal Wing, since that's the only monster that's got any kind of effect. We have Rose Whip, putting in work to stymie out most of that back row. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what he is trying to do here, but it's whatevs. I don't know. He's probably thinking about something. I know he's thinking about something. He's got 4 back row, but he can only use 1. Flip the Crystal Wing upside down, just mark that I've used it and all that, and we're gonna continue. Titanial's going in. Power Tool's going in, Dagda's going in. We gonna see. I don't think our opponent loses at this point, because I don't think this is enough damage. So, but he goes in and packs it up anyway, because again, make sure your Rose Whip is really strong against a deck like that. So there's not too much that can be done there. So we're going to go ahead and skip this and fast forward and go to a game 3. Alrighty, folks, here we go. Game 3, the grand finale. Even though I did spoil it a little bit, we did lose this game and the match overall, but had I not made a nice little sloppy misplay, we would have won the match. And it goes, and I can also kind of showcase, just the deck's resilience, and it's pretty fluid in terms of just playing through interruptions in general. And it's very, I don't know, just plants. Yeah, I know it doesn't have like a consistent combo string, if you know what I mean, but it's also very flexible at the same time, so it's really weird in that respect. But Plants is also a deck that I love to play, so you're still going to see more Plants in the foreseeable future, especially with some of the other Rika cards. Trying to test that out. I might want to try and throw some Sylvan cards in there to start stacking a little bit, legal stacking, obviously, and try some things out, see what works and what doesn't work. That Fragrant Storm may be a good card. Again, that's not once per turn. Pop Plants on the board, draw a card. If it's a plant you drew, you feel it, draw another card. So it's a way to just draw 2 cards. I don't know about Pot of Avarice though, because Pot of Avarice requires quite a bit of setup and basically requires that you played uninterrupted or played for free or whatever. But my opponent's got our Construct on the board, setting a monster. He's got 2 back row set. Don't know if that's it, but spoiler alert. Well, nah, I'm not gonna spoil it. But anyway, what's he doing? Is he? I'm not sure. Anyway, also I want to let you guys know that I'm still going to feature World Chalice. World Chalice is definitely going to be there. Just gotta gotta get my stuff moved and all that stuff so I can get me a decent recording spot. Get our entertainment center coming in and all that. And I think we got a table actually to where I can set up and start recording. So I just may get to work there. So I normal summon Glow Up Bulb because we just so haven't opened it. And it's not like a bad thing, but if you already open like Scorpio. So we Super Solar Nutrient the Glow Up Bulb into a Lone Fire Blossom, and that is going to get met with an Imperm. So that's unfortunate. That's an unfortunate side effect number 1. So we go and tribute the Lone Fire Blossom, even though I knew it was going to be negated, just so we can reborn it and reset its effects. And another Imperm gets flipped over, just like that. So, it's a little unfortunate, but we're still able to do some things. We're still able to keep going. So, it's the beauty of Plants a little bit. The deck has a lot of extenders. You can play so many reborns. It's got things like Symbol of Heritage. It's got actual reborn. It's got Succession. It's got Monster Reborn because Lone Fire Blossom access at any time can make it live, which is good. So that's 4 or 5 reborns right there. You have things like DDR because you'll banish a Lone Fire for Spore and stuff. So you have a lot of extenders, guys. So that's nothing to that's definitely something to write home about. So if you get interrupted, you likely have ways to just keep pushing, keep going. Not to mention you have things like Rose Lover, being able to banish yourself from the grave to summon the plants from your hand and stuff like that. So if you open it, you can Super Solar Nutrient it to the graveyard. You can go Prevalent Scorpio and discard it. You can just Foolish Burial it. All kinds of things you can do to basically just extend and push past interruption. So I think the reason we play the Wind Kaiju is just in preparation for those decks that are playing the Simorgh Link and decides to put up the Wind Barrier statue or something. So it's just little niche interactions there to prepare for the worst, essentially. So I think we make the Simorgh Link. I'm not sure. Now, Steam the Cloak is banned, but that doesn't mean you still don't have ways to make this immortal. There's other Blackwing tuners you can play that can essentially just fill the void. You know, there's other wing-based tuners. You know, things like Gale the Whirlwind you can summon. It's not the biggest deal. So, here we go. I think this is the moment of truth. Are we making the Smorglik? Yes, we are. And we have a Monster Reborn in hand that we want to activate. And okay, we get our Steam the Cloak token first. And I think this is where we misplay. I'm not sure. I think I'm just checking Graveyard to see what all I got going on. You know, again, we get interrupted twice, so, you know, we still need to push. We know our opponent has a Shaddoll Fusion base card in his hand because we kaiju'd over the construct. So that's there, and we are still accounting for the set monster. I'm not sure if it's Squamata or Squamata or Hedgehog, like one of those two. What have we been? Did we ban just Glowpo? I guess we did. Alright, I guess that's fine. But, so, here we are. We're continuing. Let's see. Steam token is level 1, Spore is level 1. They're both wind. Do I make Union Carrier here? I'm not sure. I don't play the Infinite Negate combo because, again, it's like really exploitable, like really bad. But if you get it on paper, it's really, really strong, really good. But I don't know. Anyway, why am I still checking the grade? I guess I'm trying to think of the best way I can deal with the situation. Because when I do, you know, you have to think about follow-up. You need to think about follow-up, and this is our misplay. You see where we played that Monster Reborn? So, we're giving our opponents three choices. We can either bring back the Needle Fiber, Steam the Cloak, or Lone Fire Blossom. Either thing they give us, it's not going to be good for the opponent. But the problem is, we played Reborn, and the same zone Imperm was in way earlier. You know, and that is what's going to cost us the game. You know, that is the unfortunate part. You know, the stupid Imperms. You know, he didn't just have one, he had two of them. We played through them, but, you know, we kind of forgot Imperm was there way earlier because, you know, 10 minutes have gone by, I think. Like, you know, it seemed, you know, granted, I could have been way further if I was just playing, but, you know, when you get interrupted multiple times, you really got to think of the best line of play. You know, you got to be a little big brain when you're getting interrupted multiple times, because, you know, you can think about combos all day. You can follow the formulas on how to execute said combo over and over again, but, you know, you also gotta learn to be flexible, and you gotta, know exactly what you need to do when the situation on the ground doesn't go as calculated. So, you know, that's the whole thing about combo decks. Combo decks, you have to be really big brain when you get interrupted. For that reason, it's more than just memorizing combos. For this reason, because you know, combos don't die, but you need to improvise. This is why it's so important to have a plan B, a plan C. Like, you need to know what you're already going to do and where you're going to go if you're getting interrupted at certain spots and all that. And also, you need to choose certain lines of play to where, even though it may not be the most optimal, it leaves you with the play if you do get interrupted in some way. And that's something that I do excel at doing. So, yeah, at this point we're kind of just, I don't know, just making stuff. I think we make Union Carrier, I'm not sure. But if we are, we need the Buster Sword. Like, for sure we need the Buster Sword because he's playing fusions and all that, and we still have a set monster that we have to worry about as well. So, the problem is, we need another monster. That is the main issue. We need another monster so we don't tribute off the Samorg Link. But I think what we do, I think we Union Carrier for the Samorg Link just to boost it. Yeah, we target it and... Or do we end phase? If we end phase, we end phased. What I should have done was just Union Carrier target the Samorg Link and equip like its Taniel to it, just to boost it and get over the Kaiju at least. You know, because at this point, our opponent can neutralize our negate by using that 2700 Kaiju and attack into our 2700 Avion, which I think that's exactly what he does. Because, you know, that's free at this point. You know, he could just play for free. You know, that's the last thing we want our opponent to do. You know, because if they're, you know, as I always say, if your opponent's playing, you're losing. So, you know. Yep, he rams right into it. So, at this point, the game does, it definitely goes downhill from here. Downward spiral, downhill slide. Again, this probably would have all been avoided had I have been able to resolve that Monster Reborn. You know, but again, it's my misplay. We've all done this before. We've all played a card in his own imperm in and all that. So, you know, it's nothing we're unfamiliar with, but you know, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and continue. Now, Mekk Knights are hitting the board, and I think that is a Shaddoll Dragon, which is a little trouble. He bounces the Union Carrier, oddly enough. Don't know why, but he does bounce Carrier. And honestly speaking, now with all the new lists and stuff, I'm thinking about maybe wanting to add the Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds and maybe finding space for an Avermax, just to kind of have a nice little soft lock. But at the same time, I don't even think that's necessary when I already have things like the Buster Sword in the deck. So Buster Sword, like special summoning and special summoning for the extra deck are almost one and the same, and I say almost in a way to where, yes, with Buster Sword you can technically still special summon, but you know, most decks do kind of need their extra deck to make things happen. So, you know, special summoning nothing but just little monsters here and there with no meat and potatoes is kind of pointless if you can't go into your extra deck. That's why locking players off of the extra deck is so strong. So here, he makes his Invoked Link, and I don't know, at this point I probably should have scooped, but I kept going because I need to Rose Whip. But we attack it, and we're just like, okay, we should be good here. Swing with Rose Whip, but we forget that he has a Purple Nightfall right there that's just banished. That can come back and just run it over. So that's exactly what is going to happen. And I think he's going to search first. He may search blue, or he may search the Move Man. I'm not sure. Just have to wait and see. But, yeah, guys, lots of content in the future coming regarding, you know, World Chalice, Plants, Orchist, of course. I did promise deck profiles for Orchist. I promised deck profiles for Six Samurai, World Chalice, of course, after I get the last bit of deck building and testing and stuff I need done with World Chalice. That will be next again, but I gotta get everything in this new place situated first. So Blue Sky hits the board. It's gonna go for them searches. I think he's going to search another blue. No? Oh, well, he can't do that, but you know what I mean. Thought he was going to search another Move Man. So he gets purple. So at this point, advantage is, you know, slowly getting steamrolled in the opposite direction for his opponent. And he drops a Kaiju. So at this point, Again, I probably should have just known this game was not going to be long. You know, the thing about plants is they can resource a lot. Yes, they have a lot of ways to resource things, but they have a very poor recovery, you know? Maybe that's where cards like Pot of Avarice comes in, but at the same time, again, it's only good if you're already playing the game. And if you're in a situation like I was just in, where I'm getting interrupted multiple times, that Avarice is kinda dead. So, you know, it's high. I don't even know if it's high reward, but it's kind of like medium risk and medium reward, if that makes any sense. It's not too risky opening it up, but at the same time, the reward of resolving an Avarice isn't all that great either. You know, because it's like, if you're in the situation to where you resolve, or where you can resolve Pot of Avarice, you should already be winning in theory. You know what I mean? I feel like Avarice is just that card that just basically just kind of gives you a second, like a way to play on another turn, like a second turn kind of thing, when in reality the game should probably be over after your first turn. But, you know, if your board gets broken, then, you know, you're probably going to lose that game anyway. If your board gets broken, your opponent probably has like negates on board to stop your follow-up anyway. But hey, I could be wrong there. It depends on the deck you're playing, but when it comes to like plants, yeah, you're probably lost if that board got broken. But, you know, we're doing what we can to recover. Again, we haven't played plants in over a year, so we don't know all the ins and outs. So, you know, yeah, just figuring it out. That's basically it. You know, at least decks like Rika's and stuff actually have, you know, some sort of follow-up plays and stuff going. That's one thing I can appreciate about the Rika archetype, but, you know, it's too fair, man. It just, like, the fact that you have to tribute to get effects, like, tribute to summon to get effects and stuff, it's just, ooh, you have to minus just to net zero and stuff. That's, I don't know, it's not the business. It's not the business. Like, you know, you get all these little added bonus effects, you know, from your spells and stuff when you tribute additional plant monsters, but then it's like, bro, like, the Searcher could have been so much better if it let you add any plant and not just any plant that matches the level of the monster you tributed, that, or the Rika monster you searched. That would have been nice, because, you know, Rikas don't have level 3s, you know, so, you know, I can't search Lone Fire Blossom or Predaplant Scorpio, you know. And yeah, you can search level 1s with like Petal and all that stuff, but I don't really want to play Petal because it locks you into plant monsters, and that's like really bad in when it comes to a type that doesn't have very good plant-based interaction cards. You know, again, plants have a lot of good resource tools. Don't get that twisted, but they don't have a lot of good monsters to end on. They don't have a lot of good, like, just, negate spells and traps with this plant monster. This plant monster can negate, like, monster effects. No, they don't have that, unfortunately. You know, a lot of their good interruptions is in the form of their spells and traps. You know, things like Pollinosis and stuff, which also requires you to tribute a plant monster, not just control a plant monster. But, you know, that's keeping up with power creep nowadays. Pollinosis is a fairly old card, so, you know, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. But, you know, let's continue. I think this game is going to get wrapped up fairly soon. You know, as we have a Titanial on the board, which is nice because he hasn't gotten into any, like, fusions and stuff, so, you know, as long as he doesn't get into that, we could survive off of the Titanial. But, even so, I feel like it's moved because I feel like my opponent has so many points to where even just the one Titanial won't really hold for too much longer, which is the unfortunate part. You know, if he makes any fusion, you know, if he gets into an Alistair, he could just you make a fusion and boost the attack up and then just go for a game. So, you know, at this point, I'm just, delaying the inevitable. You know, as you can see, I'm at 4,500, he's at 6,300, and he still has a bunch of knickknacks. He could just make a Nightmare Unicorn right now and just, well, get rid of it. But, hey, look, there's the Alistair the Invoker, so that lets you know the game is about to be over. You know, right around here, so with that being said, guys, I don't know if I really want to continue just to sit and talk for like another, couple of minutes, wrapping this bad boy up. But if you like this match and all that stuff, you want to see some more plants, go ahead and give this video, as many likes as you can put, and I'll be very greatly appreciated. So, yeah, that's a lost match, guys, but like I said, we probably would have won if we didn't misplay with that imperm, or playing Monster Reborn in that imperm zone. So, but hey, live and learn, guys. Gotta learn to still play around zones, even around zones that are unoccupied. So, yeah. By the way, I think that dude's ulti-ification looks nice. I think that's ulti, but anyway, aside from that, guys, I know he lost, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.